Welcome to the 19th episode of Just a Bit Outside.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
I'm your host, Josh. Listen, we have a massive episode, massive guest pick, and I'm just going to go right into our picks right now so we can get to our guest pick. These picks are brought to you by livingmybestcigarlife.com. Don't just live your life, live your best cigar life. Detroit, money line against Chicago. Over the NFL, Aaron Rodgers over 283 passing yards. That's a no-brainer. Green Bay -3. They're going to win this by a touchdown. Buffalo, the Bills, money line. Let's get right to the guest pick now. This guest pick is now new sponsorship alert brought to you by Player Athletics. Whenever shopping online, make sure to use promo code BETTHEOVER for 20% off all their products. I'm very excited for this guest pick. Let's get right to him. Matthew Barnaby, ladies and gentlemen. Cool. I am very, very excited to announce our first actual sponsored guest, if you will, by Player, promo code BETTHEOVER. And it is a massive guest. NHL's career span from 1992 to 2007, 2008, 834 games played, 300 points, not a big deal, and well over 2,500 penalty minutes. He is the greatest, one of the greatest personalities in the NHL, in my opinion, and I'm very glad to have him. Matthew Barnaby, how's it going, bud?
I'm good. Love Player Golf. Love the guys from Saskatchewan, good old Saskatchewan boys. And yeah, life's too short to bet the under, right?
Absolutely. You always got to bet the over. Absolutely. So how's quarantine been for you?
Well, as you can see by my surroundings, I'm actually at the cottage. We're in full lockdown in Ontario. So I have a cottage, myself and my girlfriend, about an hour and a half from Ottawa. So a little less restrictions up here. We can,
right.
we still have to, conform, but it's an 8 o'clock curfew. So whether I'm sitting at home watching hockey and football or sitting at the cottage, pretty well the same thing. So at least I have an ODR here I can go to. It's a little prettier up here, and there's no temptation. So all good.
Nice. It's pretty nice to be up at the cottage. Don't have to worry about the city, or it's just nice to be up at the cottage, up at the lake. Right? It's comfortable.
Yeah, you have a couple of cocktails, you don't feel guilty.
Exactly. Right. So you retired in 07, 08, right?
Yeah, I probably should have retired in 04. But yeah, I stuck on for a couple more contracts, and 07, 08. I played my last year in Dallas, had concussion issues at the end, last couple fights. But I absolutely loved my last year in Dallas. Great guys I got to be a part of. Then I got into the media business. I started working with TSN and then went to ESPN from there. And then after that, I left and went into coaching, and then found myself in the gambling realm. So that's where I'm at now. I work with Bet99 as their lead analyst, guru per se. That's kind of what I do on a daily basis. I've always bet. I love poker, and I love betting on sports. So I'm very fortunate to work with a really good company and great people, more importantly. So that's what I do today. All day long, I study lines, study trends, and watch a lot of hockey. It's great when your girlfriend, who's right beside me right now, can't give you shit for watching sports. It's my job, babe.
I was going to say, that's got to be the life, right? You're up at the cottage, just betting lines, betting hockey, divisional or the AFC Championship, NFC Championship are on this weekend. Like, that's got to be the life. That looks nice.
It's good. It's nice. It's nice. No, it's nice. It's nice when it snows. Go, do a few things in the morning. I'd love to say that I'm working out every day, and you know what? I'm not. I'd love to say that I am, but I'm not. It's purely sports. It's great.
You could have said you were, and I would have totally believed you, Barnes.
Yeah, no. No, that's because the shirt is very slimming, and I just wear dark clothes now, so it's good.
Hey, fair enough. Yeah. So we'll get into the betting a little later. I just wanted to kind of touch on your career a little bit. Now, I did see, like, you did coach with you in the OHL with Kitchener for a couple of years, and obviously, your son is still playing, correct?
He does. Yeah, he plays in the SPHL, which is very much like the East Coast. It's a league below, but very similar in Alabama. So yeah, right. I had the opportunity to go to Kitchener. I loved coaching my son, loved coaching youth hockey and watching these kids develop, and so many guys in the NHL now, the Victor Metes, the Jacob Chykrins, I was fortunate enough to
Giovanni
coach.
Smith, right?
What's that?
Giovanni Smith with the Red Wings.
Yeah, we also had as youth players, we had Logan Brown, and then we had Clayton Keller.
Oh, yeah.
We had a bunch of guys from our summer hockey team. So I love coaching. The reason I went to Kitchener in the first place was one of my best friends in the world is Jay McKee, who I played with in Buffalo. He took over the head coaching job and asked if I was interested. So it was great. It was a great learning experience. I would never do it again. I enjoy what I do, but it certainly was a great learning experience to see from behind the bench exactly what it is at an elite level.
So my next question was like, do you see yourself going back to coaching or even, maybe some connections to the NHL, possibly going back scouting or something like that? Do you see yourself in the future getting back?
No, I enjoy my time way too much. First of all, to coach in junior and ride the buses. Second of all, you just don't go right to the NHL. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of time, and I'm almost 50. I'm 47. I'm on the back nine. I'm on the back nine of my career. So I want to enjoy it. I want to stay at home. I want to have the flexibility to travel with my girlfriend. I want to have the flexibility to go see my daughter when I want, when COVID breaks, and to be able to travel and see my son play. So, those are the important things. And I think you realize that the older you get.
Absolutely. And why, if you're comfortable at the cottage making bets, why would you want to be on a bus, in junior going to Kitchener or, Oshawa or wherever, right?
The only way that's going to happen is if the bets go away and I go on like an 0 for 100 streak and we got to sell the cottage. Then I might be back on a bus.
Oh, that wouldn't be good. That's almost impossible to do, by the way, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I know it is. I always say, though, a gambling dollar has no home.
Yeah. So let's get into your career a little bit. Like TSN had you as the number one agitator in the NHL. Did you, when you played, was that your goal? Were you wanting to get under everybody's skin when you showed up to the rink to try and get them off their game and, just cause a bunch of shit? Was that your goal, or what was your mentality kind of going into each game?
Yeah, you try to find your niche, right? And I was always a talented kid growing up, and I was along with the guys. I scored 200 points in Pee Wee and minor bantam. I was great and whatever. And then you evolve, and then you get to junior and you see, oh my God, there's all these other guys that are really, really good. You're in a small kind of bubble, and then you realize there's a lot of really good hockey players. And then magnify that, you go to the NHL, and then I'm on the ice with Alexander McGillney and Dale Howardchuk and Pat LaFontaine. And you have to find a niche. You got to find a way to stick around. And no, I didn't want to only just play for a year or play 100 games. I wanted to have a long career. So I found my niche, and it was pissing off people and hopefully contributing offensively when I could. And I'm proud of the 2,500 penalty minutes. I think it shows that I wasn't afraid of fighting or mixing it up. But I'm equally as proud of the 300 points that I was able to score. And I didn't finish my career with 10 points. 300 number is a number. And if I fought less, maybe I could have got to 400 or 500 points. So yeah, my goal going into a game was to get guys pissed off their game, take stupid penalties on me, and we would score on the power play. It was time for those guys to go out, and then your game evolves and you try to become even more of an offensive influence. But yeah, going into every game, I was trying to piss people off and have them take penalties on me. And then when it was my time to decide we were going to fight, then I had no problem fighting as well.
Like I was going to say, Lindy Ruff was quoted saying, you didn't get enough credit for your skating ability or your playmaking ability. 300 points in 834 games, like that's not bad. Like that's not horrible, right? And still to put up 2,500 penalty minutes in the meantime that's an awesome career. If you on paper, if you look at it, it's great. I find that you fought, or you played, I guess, in some golden ages of the enforcer. So Bob Probert, Domi, Ray, Manson, McCabe, you and Odeline, you guys had your big feud there. Who's got to be one of the toughest where that you fought, or one of those days where you just look across the ice and you're like, fuck, I got to go up against him again tonight, or
Yeah. They were all tough. I wanted, anytime you drop your gloves at that level, with the heavyweight era that you played in, that I had the chance to play in. I always equated to a schoolyard fight, except for I had to go into a schoolyard fight every day that I played 834 games. So 834 days I went into a schoolyard fight, just praying for my life. Who's the toughest? Darren McCarty. I don't know if you can see if I'm close enough. But 28 stitches every time I look into the mirror, I'm reminded of his left bombs that he threw. But then you fight the Zdeno Charas that are 6'9", 265. Stu Grimson. I'm not beating up Stu Grimson. He's 6'5", 250. It's just, when you're nicknamed the Grim Reaper,
exactly,
you probably should fucking stay away. That's the problem. Is I didn't know when to stay away. I always thought that I was invincible. That they, maybe I wouldn't beat them, but I wasn't afraid of them. And that's probably was the end of my demise. Was I wasn't afraid, and I probably should have been.
What about Mansell? You fought Mansell one time. What was he like fighting?
He was tough. He was scary. He was a scary human being out there, and he didn't say much. Well, he couldn't say much because of his voice. Yeah. But I got to know his son after playing and meeting him a few times. But they'd always chirp me, and he'd always come after me, and I'd be like, "Man, I'll fight you whenever," but I never would. I never did. Yeah. And then one time in Pittsburgh, when he was in Chicago, I was like, "Fuck it, let's go, man. You want to go? Let's go." And we dropped and we squared off, and he hit me with a couple, and I hit him with a pretty good bomb right on the chin, and he went down. And I did the flex coming off the ice and showing my awesome 1993 barbed wire tattoo, just showing that off.
Right.
But he came right out and he wanted to fight. And I said, never again. There's two guys that would never fight again. Dave Manson and Jim Cummins. Because I one-punched both of them. And not that I hurt them by any means, but it looked so good on camera.
Yeah.
When you got the belt, you never give the belt back.
You say that about Manson, a scary, scary human being. I was actually coached by Manson. Wow. I mean, I'm from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, so he coached with the Mintos, the AAA junior team here. And quick little funny story, he was coaching one year, and I was an affiliate. I was like 14 years old, 15 years old, not really knowing him or, all the players around me. And we were kind of bullshitting in the room in intermission, and we're joking around. And I'm 14 years old, right? And I'm sitting in the corner with the vets, and Mansell comes into the room, and then I start I'm laughing about the joke or whatever, and he comes over to me, "What the fuck are you laughing about?" And I said, "Holy shit." He was fucking a scary guy.
Fucking Charlie Manson, man. My girlfriend, by the way.
Hello.
Yeah.
Nice to see you.
Zooming in. We're watching hockey. Yeah, this is her. She usually colors on her iPad or something while I watch the games. We're watching Ottawa live right now against Winnipeg. I have Winnipeg, by the way. She's from Prince Albert, and she's from Prince Albert.
Oh, is she?
Born there, and then she lived in a big town in Saskatchewan, Kamsack.
Oh yeah, Kamsack.
Yeah. Her and 12 of her relatives made up the 15 population town. So, yeah. I got a great story. Only Saskatchewan people can, appreciate this.
Yeah,
she had a cow, Betsy. That was her pet.
Yeah.
She had a pet cow until Christmas time came, and everyone was referring to how good Betsy was on the table. Yeah, all good. So I got a Saskatchewan girl. We're all good.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I didn't even know that. That's great. Yeah. Let's move into kind of the NHL today. Like, since you've retired in 08 or 07, I mean, that was kind of the start of the change, right? Like, obviously the hit to the head rule kind of came in 2011, 12. But I mean, even before that, that's when we kind of started to see the enforcer kind of get grown out of the game. What do you think the NHL has become? Like, what do you think of the product now that is on the ice? Do you like it? Do you think there needs to be a little bit more toughness? What's your opinion on it?
Listen, I love the era that I played in. There was fear, there was intimidation. You had to have a set of balls, or you weren't going to make it. Going into Philadelphia was not an easy task. for guys, and there was always the chance that you'd get jumped by anyone, and that's just the way. There was a chance to be a 5-on-5 brawl, and that's just the way it is. I think it was a little too much, and I don't think we have enough in it now. So I love the game now. I love the speed. I love the talent of these players. It's unparalleled. We haven't seen talent like we see in the game today. Do I think the NHL has done a good job in protecting players more than they protected my era? Yeah. I think we evolved, and we're not cavemen anymore. We don't want to smash guys over the head with sticks. We don't want to be jumping in the stands fighting fans. But I also think there's an onus on the player that you have to protect yourself. And I'm not talking about fighting wise. You don't want to fight, you shouldn't have to fight. That's plain and simple. It's not barbaric. It's
you shouldn't have to force a guy nowadays.
No, and we did sometimes. We did. Games got out of control. We were like, "Fuck it, I'm going to beat the shit out of you." Like Steve Yzerman told me one day, we could have beat you by 4 or 5. We just didn't want you guys going fucking haywire, so we beat you by 2 to keep it close. Funny, but that's the way it is. Yeah, I don't think there's an onus on a player right now when he's carrying the puck through the neutral zone or crossing the blue line. They have their head down, and we're always taught, keep your head up. And some of these hits are marginal. They call it a blind side, rule 48, whatever. You shouldn't be able to hit a guy to the head. But if a guy has his head down, sometimes it's unavoidable. You just don't lay off. You just don't lay off a hit. So I think our time was barbaric. I think the speed and skill right now is absolutely awesome. I just wish they learned how to protect themselves a little bit more. And some of the hits, some of the ticky-tack stuff wasn't called.
Right. Yeah. I was going to say, like, now after the enforcer kind of left out, the big hits were kind of getting grown out. More space was created, I found, for these guys. Guys were coming out with more speed, I think, a little bit more. And, it just the hits and the fights, it kind of just grew out. And yeah, you're right. They are not protecting themselves like they should be. They cross that blue line and it's head down, and they are, where's my next pass, where it should be, where's that defenseman, where am I going, kind of thing, right?
Yeah, in 10 years, I'd be surprised if we see fighting anymore at all.
You're probably right, because they were talking about that 2-3 years ago, right? Should fighting be in hockey? And I mean, do you have an opinion on that? Like, you think there should be, or?
I just think it's an emotional sport, and I again, I'm not getting up to go get a beer or a hot dog during a fight. I don't know about anyone that's listening right now, but I enjoy a good fight once in a while. Do I want to see guys hurt? No. The thing is, when I coached in junior in Kitchener in the OHL, and it's making that way through all the leagues. My last year in junior,
specifically the junior leagues.
I had 476 minutes in penalties my last year junior. That's a lot of fights. It's a lot of fights. Now you fight 3 times and you're suspended. Well, I guarantee in 5 years, you fight once and you're going to be suspended. So it's going to naturally evolve out of the game.
I can definitely see that happening for sure. Let's get into a little bit of some betting now. This year for the NHL specifically is going to be kind of an odd one, just seeing how there's 4 divisions. You don't play outside of your division. Lots of 2-game series. How, I know it's only been about a week or so into the season, but how have you found betting on NHL so far?
I found it choppy. You got to really pick your teams closely when you're betting the puck line, meaning you got to win by 1.5 for those out there. Vegas has been great. They're 3-1 against the puck line through 4 games. They're the most profitable on that by far. But there's a lot of 1-goal games, a lot of close games, and there hasn't been that discrepancy even with no preseason where a team just dashes out, or 5 teams dash out, and then teams are struggling at the bottom. Even LA, it's not a good hockey team.
Even surprising.
They're losing every game by 1 goal. I mean, they're in every single game. So I wasn't sure how. Again, we're all in a pandemic and in a new era where we don't know what's happening tomorrow. 4 guys from Washington Capitals are not going to play. It looks like Samsonov just got coronavirus. So there's so much in watching how you bet the back-to-backs, backup goalies. I think it's really important. Montreal's done a great job in getting Jake Allen to solidify their goal. You need 2 goalies this year because playing back-to-back, playing 3 and 5, playing 5 and 7 for some teams.
Mm-hmm.
I love the All-Canadian division. I'm really enjoying that the rivalries that we're going to start to see. And I think early on, like most years in preseason, this is our preseason. For bettors, we're getting our trends now.
Exactly.
You don't get them right away. This is our preseason.
Yeah.
We're getting trends. So it's been good so far. A little choppy last couple of days, but certainly even the under overs. I thought we'd have a lot more overs, but it's staying pretty close to 50-50 right now on the under overs.
Do you think that's a lack of no preseason games? Like that first game where I think it was Toronto. Was it Toronto Edmonton? The first game, one of the first games of the year, and they went into OT, and you could just tell like the effects of not having preseason, short preseason camp. They got into OT and they were just dogged. Lines 1 through 4, just dogged, right?
Well, and we even look at like that game, Edmonton, both their back-to-back games against Montreal. I mean, Edmonton goes 0 for 10 on the power play. In 2 games. I mean, they're -2 differential in 3 games. I mean, that's not their power play. They clicked at over 40% last year. So those kind of things you look at and you're like, okay, what numbers, when you're looking through and you're doing your research, what numbers don't fucking make sense here?
Exactly.
Edmonton at 11% on the power play doesn't make sense. That'll change.
No, absolutely. Well, here's a trend for you. I was looking at, because we're going to see lots of 2-game series. And not necessarily back-to-back, but 2-game series, Wednesday, Friday. And we've seen just about 20 of them. And I was listening to Follow the Money on VSIN with Mitch Ross and Paulie Howard. Great guys. Shout out to them.
Yeah, listen, good show.
Yeah, they were saying they kind of feel like there was a sense that with these 2-game series, it's going to be kind of like a double header in baseball where the goal is to just go out and get 1. Like, let's just make sure we get 1. So they were saying, the favorite at -135, they win game 1. Game 2, why don't you lay the plus money at plus 120, plus 115 or whatever. And I was looking at the 2-game series so far. 60% of those 2-game series has been split. 40% have been outright, a sweep, but those were series like Vegas, Arizona, Tampa Bay, Chicago, not really teams that, on two ends of the spectrum. So, I mean, maybe it's smarter to just see, okay, who won last game and just lay the plus money. If there is any plus money on them, lay it for the second game and, try and get some plus money. Right. So,
and it's not a bad, it's hard to be a team back to back with usually 2 different goalies.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a pissed off team that knows they have to. There's a subconscious that goes to any professional athlete, any person in the world. When you have that one in the bank, of course you want to win the second. But the other team's going equally as hard, if not harder, to get that split. You start losing 2 in a row, that compounds into more, and you're playing within a division. They're all 4-point games every single night. So plus money, looking for value on plus money is massive.
Yeah. That the first game that Colorado lost to St. Louis there, which was surprising to me. And then I was like, fuck this. We're hammering the puck line to the second game because there's no way they're losing 2 games in a row.
Not a chance. What was it, 8-0 or 8-1? They just fucking
8-0, yeah. Scored, I think, 4 power play goals in the third or something like that.
Yeah.
Let's move over to the NFL quickly. I noticed on your Twitter page, you had put out a poll about Mahomes being out. Early line say 4.5. Who do you got? And 1,100 people voted. And 70% went Buffalo plus 4.5. The line is now 3. I'm pretty sure. And I get it. You're a Buffalo guy, very popular around Buffalo. But what do you think? Are they going to be right about Buffalo and KC?
Well, here's what I was saying. When that line came out at 2.5, I took the fucking hammer, and I don't have it close, and I hammered KC because to me the line, I always set a line myself in my mind what I think it's going to be.
Right.
And then when
you had it at 4.5, that's right? right?
Anywhere 4.5.
Yeah.
I still think 3's low. I'm still hammering KC at 3. I have a lot more on it 2.5 because I think that's the play. And anyone that doesn't think Mahomes isn't going to play, don't bet, because I guarantee he's going to be in the fucking lineup and he's going to be throwing dimes.
Yeah.
My Twitter page, probably out of 85,000, 90,000 Twitter followers, probably 25,000 are from Buffalo. So
Yeah.
it's skewed a little bit. I think from that Bills Mafia scene, but Buffalo's a very good team. Josh Allen's the real deal. He's big. He's got a great arm. Escapability is off the charts. Stephon Diggs has made him a serious weapon, and the defense is pretty good. They're a little undersized, but they're still good. Yeah. Having said that, KC is the best team in the NFL. They're defending Super Bowl champions.
Yeah.
They have the most weapons. I don't think they have the best D, but they can outscore you. You got to score 30 points to beat them. Mm-hmm. You want to beat them in this game, you better score 30 points. Can Buffalo do it? Yeah, they can do it. But my money is still on the defending champs. They're there for a reason. They aren't going to be nervous. Buffalo could have a little bit of nerves, but to me, the two best teams in the NFL this year are Green Bay and Kansas City.
Yeah. I was talking to a buddy of mine, shout out to Sam on the Source podcast. He thinks it's a smokescreen, with Mahomes. Oh, is Mahomes playing? Is he? Yeah, no, he's playing, but he's not, not necessarily 100%. Vegas is handing us a platter of this line of 3 points for KC. It's a no-brainer for some, but for me with KC is that they've kind of dicked around with teams kind of closer to the end of the season. Atlanta was one. They lost to Atlanta. Even last week with Cleveland, where when Mahomes was in, they were still kind of playing down to Cleveland, and that offense from Buffalo is the real deal. And I just don't know if they're going to be able to dick around with them. I think, it's going to be a little bit of a shootout. And if Buffalo gets up early, obviously they're going to bring the heat towards Mahomes. They're going to try and shake him. And I took Buffalo money line because I think we're going to see something crazy on it.
See, you know what? And I don't think the line is going to move that much just because of the love for Buffalo and Buffalo. Everyone in Buffalo, there's a lot of Buffalo fans out there, not only in Buffalo, but they're kind of like a cult following the way that they are. So I don't see the line moving. It could get to 3.5. I don't think it gets on that. Yeah. But I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a very entertaining game. Again, I've been on KC all year long. There's so many fucking weapons this guy has. If you rush and are blitzing him all day long, well,
go right to Kelsey.
You're going right to Kelsey, 5 yards, move the chains. If you sit back, his run game gets going. He just has so many weapons, which is unbelievable. And Andy Reid's awesome.
Yeah. Let's move over to Green Bay, Tampa Bay. What are you feeling for that one?
I'm laying the chalk there, 3.5 again. I've been on the favorites, and I feel like if Mahomes didn't go down, the favorites would have covered 3 out of the 4. I was wrong. Drew Brees was awful last week. 4 turnovers. You're not going to beat Tom Brady with 4 turnovers. No. It's been a great story in Tampa Bay. Their defense is good. Fucking the MVP of the league this year is definitely Rodgers. He's been 100%. Off the charts. Yeah, 100%. Let's go draft Love. Okay, yeah, I'll just throw up 48 TDs, 5 interceptions. I'll be the man. So exactly. I'm on Green Bay. Probably the top 3 wide receivers in the league. Maybe the best quarterback this year and what he's done. MVP. I'm laying the chalk here again at 3.5. I think this could go up as, honestly, if it gets away from them, this is a 7 to 10 point game. I really feel Green Bay can really put up a lot of points.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Tampa Bay's defense has been great, I just don't think they're gonna have an answer for Devontae Adams. I think he's gonna run roughshod all over their secondary, and that's gonna be the factor. I think like that's two touchdown game. I think in my minds, I think it's just gonna be a blowout. I don't know. I don't trust Tampa Bay's defense enough, and nor do I really like. They don't have much of a ground game. He has lots of weapons when it comes to receivers, but I mean, Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, it's tough to bet against them right now.
Yeah, they're a good team. Again, when you talk about weapons and you talk about a guy that's won before,
yeah,
talk about a cool cat, man. He's gonna sit in the pocket. He's gonna give you he's gonna take what you give him. And it couldn't happen to a better guy. He's taking it all in stride with them drafting a quarterback in the first round. So I'm all over Green Bay. I'm all about laying chalk this weekend, and I'll take my chances. And then we'll go live betting. If it doesn't go our way right at the start,
absolutely.
Hammer the live betting.
So let's go your picks. Like, what are your official picks for the week? So the guest pick is right now not in good shape. 5-8, I'm pretty sure. So we need to get that back up to 500. What are you feeling officially for the weekend?
For the weekend, I'm laying chalk. I'm taking both favorites. Okay. I'm taking Kansas City minus the 3. I wish I could have them at my 2.5, but I will lay them at 3 because that's the time of the interview. And I will take Green Bay minus 3.5.
You like any NHL for tomorrow? Do you see any lines?
Yeah, I hate betting the under. I hate betting the under more than anything. I think it's like watching a circumcision without Novocaine. It's just going to hurt the whole game long. But I have Buffalo and Washington under 5.5 with all the guys out for Washington. I think Buffalo is going to win the game. I think they're favorites. I haven't really checked that line. I would guess they're probably minus 150.
Yeah, they've already beat them 6-1 already this year too.
Yeah, I think it would be around 150, 155 minus, but I haven't really looked at that side of it. I have Pitt and the Rangers under 6.5. And I have Vegas, Colorado in a money line parlay.
What was that last one? Vegas
and Colorado in a money line parlay.
Money line. So just okay, gotcha. Yeah. And what was the second last one? Rangers.
Rangers in Pittsburgh under 6.5.
Perfect. I like those. 5 picks. That could actually get us right.
Get us back. Get us back.
Get up 10-8. I like that.
I like it.
Well, perfect, Matt. I really appreciate you coming on for my episode of Just a Bit Outside. It's been an honor kind of interviewing you and kind of picking your brain about when you played and whatnot. I really appreciate it. Where can they find you?
Matt Barnaby 3636 on Twitter. And that's where I put all my picks on for Bet99. Anyone that is in Canada that's listening, I do all my picks through Bet99. I usually have a video or something up on my Twitter feed every single day. So that's where I do most of my business.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot, Matt. Whenever you want to come on as a guest pick, let me know. You're always welcome. So
if we go 4-1, I'll be on next week, buddy.
You're in. I'll count you. Awesome. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Matt. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
You heard it here first, folks. If Matthew Barnaby goes 4-1 in his picks, he'll be on for guest pick next week. If you want to catch our full interview, make sure to check out Blue Collar Media Group's YouTube page. It was a great interview. It was awesome. But this show is powered by the Blue Collar Media Group. You can follow them at B Collar Media on Twitter. You can follow me at Josh Elliott 9, as well as make sure to follow Player Athletics. Let's have a great weekend. Let's make some money.